all stardust, the spirit inside us. May we understand, let us surrender unto this moment. The past we've outgrown it, become the I am you, and you are me, and we are all one under the same sun. I am you, and you are me, and we are all one under the same sun. I am you, and you are me, and we are all one under the same sun.
Good morning. I am Bernard Norcott Mahaney. I am a member of the church and am your worship associate today. And just in case some people are wondering, this is not a sumo wrestler but it is Bouncing Boy, a superhero in the DC extended universe. Ask me more about him later. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are happy that you've chosen to spend some time with us and with yourself in this holy place. That is something to celebrate. Visitors, you are especially welcome here. And one thing, visitors, we don't have crow and gazelle at every service. I know, okay? And they've disappeared. Thank you, Crow and Gazelle, for the prelude. But visitors, after the service, feel free to get some coffee, some cookies, and some conversation in our social hall, which is through those doors. We were all newcomers once. If you are online, please say hi in the chat. And now it is time to get up, mix it up, and say hello to our neighbors. It's good to be here. It's good to be here together. Reverend Rose has a couple of announcements.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day. Mark your calendars for June 12th through 14th because our Children's RV program is hosting a family camping weekend at the Lawrence KOA. This place is a paradise for our littles, featuring a swimming pool, amazing playgrounds, and plenty of space for community connection. Each of the sites are just $90 for the whole weekend, and yes, that does include your food. Prefer a bed? Cabins are also available to book directly through the campground. Spaces are limited to 10 campsites, so grab your registration form today or talk to Mike or Rose, and let's make some great memories outdoors with our kids. And now we have Maddie Weta
Good morning, everyone. Our new children's chapel is such a dear project because it takes a whole village to raise our kids. Every fourth Sunday, our children gather to sing and hear stories and explore their spiritualities together. For this circle to really thrive, we need the unique magic that only you can bring. We are inviting everyone in our community to share a piece of themselves with our youngest souls. Do you play an instrument? Love telling a good story? Have a great game, a wiggle-busting activity to lead? Whether you are a parent or an elder or a friend of the church, your presence and your talents help build the beautiful foundation our children need to grow. You don't need to be a professional teacher to make a difference. You just need a willing heart and a background check. And I would say a certain tolerance for controlled chaos. If you want to share a gift with the chapel, please connect with me after the service to get involved. Thank you.
For anyone who's new with their children today, there is a fully functioning nursery that anyone can bring their infant to at any time during the service, although children are more than welcome here. And we're going to have a time for all ages where all the kids come forward and then the whole RE community leaves together to go to their classes. Today is the final Sunday to participate in the music program feedback table in Fellowship Hall. If you would like to submit your thoughts and ideas to the music committee in our music program, write them down on a sticky note and post them on the appropriate poster in the Fellowship Hall. And we're so happy to welcome our guest musicians, Crow and Gazelle, into our worship service today, who were featured last night in the Green Guitar Folk House. And I'm especially glad to have our own Neil Long on the piano. Feels like old times. For our call to worship today, we're going to do a little bit of breathing together. All we're going to do is take a deep breath in and then sigh it out. So ready? Come, let us worship. Please rise as you are willing and able for hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door.
With laughter drowned
Would Ben and Katie join Reverend Rose at the chalice? As Ben and Katie come forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its gift. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Could I have all the children come forward, please? And parents with babies are welcome too. Hi, everybody. Hi. Hi, guys. Hi.
Oh my gosh, is that Sealy?
It's Seely.
Sealy.
I know. I know. Hi, Wesley. What?
Seeley, I am so glad to see you, and I'm not the only one. All
Yeah.
you guys remember Seeley?
Yeah.
Well, some of you introduce you to Seeley. Here's
Well, hi, I'm
Seeley.
Seely.
But Seeley, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's been happening? Where you been?
Oh, I was on a world tour.
A world tour?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the things you saw?
I was visiting all the coral reefs because I'm a scientist now.
You're a scientist.
Yeah, I was taking samples. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm so impressed with that, Seeley. You are one special seal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you always loved science?
No, I'm just getting into it now since this recent administration. The animals are just taking over the science.
Bless you, Seeley.
Yeah,
Bless you.
yeah, it had to happen. It's
We're-
just obvious, yeah.
We so need.
No offense.
Oh, we need voices like yours.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for all of that. So, Seeley, you know what? I mean, the people who know you here love you. I know that.
Yeah,
I can feel the love out here. But do you have somebody in your life who really loves you a lot?
Well, I think Rev Rose loves me a lot.
You think Rev Rose loves you? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a personal question, Seeley.
Yeah.
How do you know that she loves you?
Well, she keeps a 5,000-gallon swimming tank in her basement.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
special.
And it's just for me when I visit.
So only for you. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Is there any other way you know that she loves you?
She feeds me fish.
She gives you fish.
Yeah.
You don't eat like bread and stuff?
Ew.
Okay. All right. So fish is good. I like fish too. But,
Yeah.
Seeley, is there any other way you know that she loves you? I mean, she gives you a 5,000-gallon pool and she feeds you fish. Anything else?
She has a lot of artwork of fish.
Artwork of fish. All right. So she really thinks about you a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, guys, do any of y'all have pets? Like, what kind of pets?
A cat?
I didn't hear cow. I heard cat, right? Cat. Okay. So there's a cat. All right. What else? You got
A bunny?
You have a bunny. This is great.
What's your bunny's name? Emmett.
It sounds like Emmett's talking to us right now. Actually, I'm not sure, but what kind of pet do you have? One cat and 2 dogs.
Wow.
Do you love them? How do they know you love them?
You
You
pet
pet 'em.
them.
Yeah.
Oh.
You try to snuggle, but they don't necessarily like that. Yeah. All right. Well, you know, pets are like people. Sometimes you got to figure out what each one wants. Yeah. What do you have?
5 cats?
So, you know the question's coming. How do they know that you love them?
I hold them like they're my babies. You know? I just hold them like they're little toddlers and I rock them.
Well, I love that. The cat's legs facing up and hugging them like they're a baby. That is wonderful.
That sounds nice.
Oh, goodness gracious. Celia, I've got to ask you another question, though.
Yeah.
I know Rev Rose loves you, and I think you probably love Rev Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all ever got mad at each other?
Well, one time, yeah, we got in a fight.
All right, so do you mind telling about it? I mean, what happened?
Well, one time she said she was going to meet me on the beach, and she wasn't there.
Are you kidding me? She didn't show?
No.
What were you thinking?
Well, I was confused and I was mad because I know she loves me, and I even tried to call her on my shell phone.
I have always admired your shell phone, Celie.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had one.
It's an old model.
Yeah, no. So, that must have made you worry and maybe feel sad
Yeah.
because she didn't show up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you just kind of like stay mad about that, or what happened? What did you do?
Well, it was really hard to tell her I was mad, but when I did, she looked me right in the eyes and she said, "Let's go talk about it." And she listened, and I finally came out with it, and she explained that she had been at the beach, and she had been standing right in front of me, but I had sand in my ears and seaweed over my eyes.
Oh, jeez.
She even had a photo of it. She was mad at me because I could have just cleaned off my face.
Yeah, gee whiz. Well, wow. You
Yeah.
know, see,
Can you believe her?
Well, it's the picture taking that I'm amused with, Celie.
Yeah, that was
She,
rude.
Yeah, well, you know.
She didn't need to do that.
She needed evidence.
But you know, it did help
Yeah,
in the end.
yeah.
Because I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, after you talked to Rev Rose, I mean, did y'all like kiss and make up, or what did you do?
Ew.
Well, what did you do? Celie?
Well, the funny thing was, I felt like after we got in that fight, it was almost like we were better friends.
That's
Yeah.
really
We
interesting.
played in the waves a lot, and
Yeah.
it felt like so relieving. And now I know that she really, really loves me, that she'll have a really hard conversation with me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So all the other things she does, like the pool, feeding you the fish, and the fish artwork, all those are really good. But like being able to deal with a time you got mad, that really is special.
Yeah, because everything else is just like basic SEAL necessity.
Yes. But I really admire your courage and Rev Rose's courage.
Thank
Because it's
you.
hard.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to be mad.
Yeah,
And feel bad about stuff. So yeah, you're a really great CEO.
Do you want to see my mad face?
Yeah, I want to see your mad face. Oh.
Ugh.
Well, show us, as an antidote to your mad face, please show us one more time your happy face.
Yay! Yay! Hi! Hi!
Well, Celie, one of the things that I think you have shown all of us is that love has to have something that you do to show it.
Yeah.
And if you just say you love somebody, well, that's a nice starting point. But it doesn't mean much unless you really show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I admire you, Celie. Rev Rose, I admire you too.
I love you.
Yeah, love you, Celie.
Bye. You may go to your classes.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme, as I read it, is curiosity. But instead, I'm going to reflect on covenant as fits the service. The first time that I heard and spoke the covenant that we recite during the chalice lighting, I fell in love with it. I very soon learned it by heart, so that rather than have my face buried in the order of service, seasoned members of the congregation will remember when we had a paper order of service on the back of which was printed the words of the covenant. Now I could look out at the fellow members of the congregation and the minister, Tom Belote. Not having to rely on black marks on a light background, I could allow the words to fill my mouth, their resonance to fill my ears, their sense to fill my heart. And while we still had orders of service, I would introduce the speaking of the covenant by inviting the congregation, though the words were still printed on the back of the order of service. I would say, if you have the words by heart, then speak them from your heart, and let us affirm that, so on. Now, I could do a full explique de text on the covenant, but not wanting to swell the service to Southern Baptist length, I'm not going to do that. Rather, I shall focus on one line, the second line. The quest for truth is its sacrament. There's a lot in those 7 words. Well, in 3 of the 7 at least. Truth. It was this that first grabbed me about the covenant, or rather, that it lacked the definite article. It was truth, not the truth. Yes, it was a missing the, which first caught my ear and then my eye. For at the time I was a member of All Souls Church in Kansas City, and their covenant has the words, to seek the truth in love. And though I love the to love part, I found and still do find the troubling. Partly this is my Catholic upbringing, where we heard a lot about our faith being the true faith, which would get emphasized whenever we'd question the nuns or priests and note that there were other Christian faiths too. What about the Lutherans, sister? The nun or the priest would reply, we had the true faith, unlike those poor, deluded fools. But it's also that certainty of that sort seems to lead people to do some nasty things. I am sure that the Puritans had no problem with the scarlet letter or the stake being used as weapons against women who veered from the truth. Truth seems to me to be a much more multifaceted thing. It cannot be fully grasped. It's sort of like, if you're a theist, God. If you think you have the truth, it seems to me you don't. But we all have truths, a piece of the greater puzzle, and that definite article tends to ignore that, and so we miss a lot. Quest. Can you believe it? We're on a quest. That's a great word. It's not just a search or an investigation or even a mission. It's a quest we're on. Heroes go on quests, or people go on quests and discover that they're heroes somehow. Makes me feel good to be on a quest. But what makes me feel even better is to be on a quest with you guys. In a way, our venture is a group effort, and so it's more of a pilgrimage than a quest. But whoever crafted the covenant understood that the monosyllabic quest has more punch than pilgrimage, so quest it is. And besides, did I mention heroes? Sacrament. As someone raised Catholic, you know sacrament is going to hit a nerve. In my case, in a good way. In fact, I would almost say that when I hear that word, I feel like Renee Zellweger in Jerry Maguire. You had me at sacrament. Tears of joy welling up within. Well, that is what would happen, but as you already know, you had me at the missing the. So sacrament is going to have to settle for second place. Like one that comes in the takes from the Jerry Maguire movie that ended up on the blooper reel. But sacrament is such a loaded word. In saying that the quest for truth is our sacrament, we are saying that action, the questing, makes our lives sacred or holy, and helps us to see the sacredness and holiness and wonder of the world. There's more that I could say, but that must wait for another time. For now, we'll just cut to a black title card, to be continued, ...
Good morning, y'all. We're so honored to be here. Like Bernie, I grew up Catholic in a very small town in rural Northwest Texas. And it is a complete, overwhelming honor to be in a place where love, all-encompassing, open love is the center at the altar instead of shame and guilt. And so, thank you for that. Thank you for gathering in the name of love. I'm one of those who believe the most obvious thing is to love. I've always felt that way, and the world seems to want us to, the world, meaning the man-made world, seems to want to oppress and suppress that now more than ever. And there's nowhere I see the more holy wonderment of love than in children. And I'm reminded that Marianne Williamson said that every action, everything we do, is either an act of love or is a calling out in the absence of love. And I work really hard to remember that, because those that I disagree with or who I am angry at, if I can look deeply, I can see into that heart of theirs that was a child, and that probably love was either withheld or it was savagely ruined inside of them. And then if we can remember to love anyway, to send it towards them anyway, in the meantime, while they've wandered away from it, maybe we can call them back to it. This is in the meantime.
It's been hard, it's been heavy, been coming down so steady, and it damn near broke the levee right around the timberline. It's alright if I don't belong, your kind of truth to me just feels wrong. And I guess I knew that all along, and I loved you in the meantime. I love you in the meantime, through all those in-between times. And I will pardon you of all your crimes. You can pardon me for mine. There is one thing I won't do, trade in the peace I found for you. And maybe one day it'll dawn on you, and I will love you in the meantime. All those in-between times. can pardon me for mine. There is one thing I won't do, trade in the peace I found for you. And maybe one day it'll dawn on you, and I will love you in the meantime. And even if it never dawns on you, well, I will love you in the meantime.
We come to this place to see and be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and be heard. I invite you to reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you, reminding them and yourselves that we are gathered together in peace and in authenticity and in intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows. If you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow, I invite you to come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences and light a candle. just take a moment to come more fully into this space, perhaps putting your feet flat on the floor, whatever feels good and comfortable for you physically. Allowing yourself to relax, noticing if you are tense or tight. Letting the bustle of getting here melt away, we come into this space of peace. Spirit of love, if we are ever to find you, it must be found within ourselves. May we be broken open by love, brought closer by love, made braver by love, and more humble by love. May we find a love that is beyond the spaces we are blocked. Love, we ask that you come into this space, into ourselves, into our church, into our city, and our nation and our world. Teaching us a way to be, the most natural, everyday, normal way to be loving. I invite you to take a moment to call to mind someone who it's very easy for you to love. And we'll do a little bit of loving kindness meditation, keeping them in your heart and mind, noticing a warm feeling in your own heart. Repeat after me. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from harm. May you be free. And now I invite you to draw to mind someone who it is difficult for you to love. Imagining them smiling, maybe imagining their child self. Noticing that warm feeling in your heart, repeat after me. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from harm. May you be free. And now taking your hand and placing it over your own heart, repeat after me. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from harm. May I be free. And then lastly, you can put your hands up in your lap. Repeat after me. May we be free from suffering. May we be free from harm. May we be free. May it be so, and amen. Please remain seated as we sing our meditative hymn.
In this place, in this circle, we dream together.
listening closely, we learn together. Take a breath, feel it rise. Let our minds be free. Ignite in us creativity. Open new ways to see, new understanding. Awaken our curiosity. La 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 la. La 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 la. Awaken our curiosity.
Could Ellie Agnew please come forward? Today we have two very short statements of belief. This is something that our youth do during their coming of age program, where they write their own credo statement. We have one from Ellie and one from Norman Mendez that I'll be reading.
Hi. As a teen of 17 years old, this is a covenant I make with myself in hopes to become the person I wish to become. I promise myself that I will live life to the fullest. By that, I mean letting myself move forward, not being bogged down by the past and the present. It will be a priority. I promise myself that memories will live within me, guide me, and bring me to where I need to be, but not hold me hostage. I hope to master the art of acceptance and hold the strength to move on. In addition, I also promise that despite whatever ridicule, internal or external, I will remain myself, whoever I feel that is. I will continue with peace of heart and of mind. I promise myself that I am myself, regardless of how I grow.
This is from Norman Mendez, who says that he believes that humanity, while inherently neutral, has more capacity for good than for bad. He says that nature and humanity as a part of it is sacred and is filled with both wisdom and worth. That the path traveled should be the path forward. One must make progress upon the winding trails that compose the many forms of the eightfold path. He says that all have knowledge and wisdom. All we need to do is ask and listen. He says the more you can see, the better you can act. Diversity of perspective ensures diversity of being. He says there can be many truths. All are equally valid and deserve equal respect. And lastly, he says that the self and the way things are not a monolith. They are eternally in a state of change, and all can be changed for the better. Of course, everyone wants to know what UUs believe. What is our opinion on the Trinity? How do we talk about what is sacred? And these are incredibly important parts of our search for truth, our quest for truth and meaning. But it's one thing to talk the talk, and another thing to walk the walk. We can believe in nice, lofty ideals all day long, but what really matters is how we hold on to these values when the going gets tough. This is the true strength of a theology and the true strength of a community. Now, one of the most important pieces of Unitarian Universalism to me is that it is a living tradition. This is crucial to our belief system in how we are together. We believe that each church is sovereign. In this way, we are radically and theologically democratic and diverse. We have no written creed or doctrine. We simply say that love is the doctrine of this church. You may be familiar with Corinthians 13, the famous love is patient, love is kind reading that is read at so many weddings. But the piece of this excerpt that touches me the most is that the way that love is written in the original is not as a noun, it's a verb. Therefore, to be loving, to be patient, to be kind, it's about how we are to each other. AKA, it is a living tradition because we are the ones living it. Loving each other in real time through real trials, through real life, is the doctrine of this church. Because of course we're all loving when the sun is shining and the fruits are aplenty. It's when we find ourselves in tight spots like me and Celie, in disagreements, in hurt and in anger and in blame, that we see how well we as a community do those acts of love and bravery. And it's through those moments that we find a deeper and more profound understanding of how deeply love can lead us anew. Now, Mike Padgett is going to be giving us a short presentation from the Committee on Ministry on Conflict, and the first slide that he's going to show us is the denominational covenant. That means that this, the place where it says love is the center, this is a covenant that we made as a denomination. That means that 100,000 people made that together through a series of years and years of process. We talked about it, we voted on it, and discerned that this belief statement and promise that we made to each other is what we're going to do now. This is not set in stone. This is something that we make and remake covenants as we come together throughout our lives. For example, we as a congregation could make a covenant, and it would look different depending on the time and who was there. Each year, the board could make a covenant, the staff could make a covenant, you could make a family covenant, and it's just a promise of how we're going to be together, and then it's useful because when the covenant is broken, you can come back and say, this is where it feels broken. We need to write a new piece of the covenant. Come on up, Mike Padgett.
Thank you, Rev Rose. So, good morning, everybody. How you doing? How many of you have been irritated already today? You don't want to fess up, do you? During the past week, how many of you have been irritated by somebody? Somebody did something to you. And about a year ago, the board asked the Committee on Ministry to come up with some ideas about how to help us get better at handling conflicts. At the time that we were asked to do this, or tasked to do this, I remember thinking, are we that full of conflict that we need to do this? But having gone through thinking about it for a year, what I've concluded is it was probably an insightful request to recognize that conflict is one of the stumbling blocks that gets in the way of love, and that we all can continuously work on it a little bit. I want to share with you who this Committee on Ministry is, because, man, what an amazing group of people. Carrie Agnew, where are you, Carrie? I saw you here earlier. So Carrie's over there. Vicki Miller is right here. George Winechase, I saw George is right here, and Rev Rose is right there. We are the Committee on Ministry. Let me tell you how wonderful it is to work with a group of people where you are trusting of each other and you'll hear each other. And Bernie, you mentioned the word curiosity. Curiosity it's actually my theme word for my own goals for 2026. And it has helped me a lot to think about that term, because there are times when I would feel the potential of a conflict with someone. I didn't like what they said, I didn't like what they did. But if I literally say, or in my mind say, tell me more about that, I'm interested in knowing more about that. So that curiosity aspect of getting through conflicts is something that has meant a lot to me, and it's I kind of like that it's our theme, our church theme, our congregational theme for the month. So conflict happens to us. This is my sign to Chris saying next slide. I thought I'd bring a bell up here, but no, that's too distracting. So, and next slide, next click. There it happens. The point of this slide is to remind us that it happens all the time. It happens in every relationship. It happens with every family. It happens with every church. And I don't know about you, but there are moments when I think I could have a conflict with that person right now. And there are moments when I say, nah, it's not worth it. It's so momentary, it's just not worth it, or it's such a minuscule thing, or it's reflecting something irritating in myself, so let it go. But there are other times when conflict happens and it's distracting. It's like Seeley. Seeley was distracted. Seeley was concerned. Seeley felt perhaps not loved because of the conflict that was there. So the idea behind putting together all of these tools, these ideas that we have packaged together, is the awareness that we never stop learning how to get better at human relationships. And that is kind of what it's about. How many of you could answer the question when I say, who taught you to be kind? What would some of your answers be? Parents, yeah? Grandparents? Families are a lot of the answer. For some people, their families were not places where they learned to be kind. Teachers, coaches, friends, you know, and the point of that is it is a never-ending learning process. Throughout our lives, we always have opportunities to get better at it. But conflicts happen everywhere. They happen all the time, and learning how to deal with them is a skill set that we all want to get better at. Next slide. And keep clicking. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, we're good there. No, actually, we're not good. Keep clicking again. Go to the next slide. And this is a moment where I'm going to ask you what you do when conflicts happen. So keep clicking. Just click on down until this slide is completed here. That's perfect. Thank you, Chris. When conflict happens, what are your instincts? What do you tend to do? Do you fall into just a quick acquiescence? Do you just agree? Do you bristle up and plan your retaliation? I mean, what are the strategies that you do? My wife goes to a personal trainer once a week, and among other things, she does boxing. And she suggested that I wear her boxing gloves and show those as props. So I thought, no, that's a little over the top. I'm not going to do that. But some of the tendencies that we have are some of us confront, some of us withdraw, some of us just clamp up, some of us accommodate. And I would suggest to you that if it's really a conflict and you don't find maybe the phrase is, a curious way to explore it and try to work through it, it's going to be an impediment for your future interactions with that person. So I'm going to ask you all to turn to each other and answer the question, is your predominant way of responding to a conflict, is it confronting, withdrawing, accommodating, or simply clamming up? So take about a minute and turn to somebody and answer that question. All right, thank you for taking that moment there. I saw no escalated emotion, which is a good sign. It's a good sign. Rev Rose, what is your predominant way of responding when a significant conflict comes your way?
Boy, I thought you'd never ask for me to reflect on that publicly. I have to say my most maladaptive is withdraw. I'll be like Homer into the bush.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rev Rose, for that. So,
What's yours?
well, I would say that I don't have a poker face. And so the message is clear that I'm not happy, or I will be curious. In my better moments, I'm curious. But if I'm not happy, then it gets worse because I go away on my own and it doesn't get better on my own. And I think that the point of this reflection is we all have those moments. This congregation, I would say this congregation is no worse, no better than any other congregation. But I do think the fact that we have a covenant that guides us instead of a creed, which, I don't know, you could argue that it does or does not help, our covenant tasks us and calls us to be inspired and to be open and to be curious and to try to always fix things and get things better. So I think that is what our task is to do. Next slide, please. And I'm kind of talking ahead of myself with some of these things, so I'm not going to take forever in going through them. But we had some tips here for how to reflect. And by the way, all of this is going to be on the website. All of the tools are going to be on the website. The little package of ideas is going to be on the website. I got an email from Shay this morning. Isn't Shay wonderful? She is taking on more responsibilities, but she emailed me this morning that the tools are either there or will be there probably today. So I really appreciate her with that. But it has on there all of these things, so we don't have to go through all of them. But the idea is, how do you reflect? And we've got wait for the feelings to decrease, calm yourself down, maybe write. For some of us, writing is a good way to clarify what's going on in our own heads. Maybe talk to a trusted friend. Maybe there's somebody where you think, I can't do this on my own. I need somebody who will be kind of there as a listening post. And then there's a warning about listening post. You know the term triangulation? Rose, I cannot believe what that Daniel Doss said to me. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was a really nice guy. And then he said that. Thank you, Rose. I can see you understand me. So triangulation is where you pit somebody against somebody else in an effort to act like you're being really a good guy, and it's not necessarily true. So if you get called to be that friend, that reflection friend, be wary of the triangulation thing that can happen. Next slide, please. So we have some steps on how to move towards conflict, and these are all they're things that you would need to read and really consider if you were having a strong conflict with somebody. It's basically give yourself time to reflect, commit to doing something, and then what if the conflict is not resolved? Click to the next slide, please. Still moving. So it's like take breaths, check in often, end with the question, how can we repair this relationship? If you want to fix things, how can you repair this relationship? And honestly, have you ever had times when you didn't want to fix the conflict? You're fine just being irritated at this person, Yeah, it's okay, I don't need them in my life anyway, and so you just kind of let it sit. But I would say that if you're having a significant conflict, and it's somebody that you're going to see periodically in any situation, here in church, in your neighborhood, in your family. If you let it just sit, it's going to create more problems going forward. So it's a challenge to be able to calm yourself down, do the reflection, and see if you can find a way to work through things. One of the things that we recognized in this little bit of conversation is sometimes people don't want to solve a conflict. And if you run into that situation, then we would urge you to do something that's probably really, really hard, but it's commit to kindness in spite of it. You will be kind in spite of the conflict. Maybe that means you minimize your time with that person. Maybe it means you keep reflecting in your own mind and try to come to a place where you want to revisit it again. But commit to kindness instead of retaliation. Next slide, please. You can keep clicking through, just click through. There are a couple of things on this slide. Several of us, not just the Committee on Ministry, but several others, including Michael Rose and Neil, we went through a day of circle training last year with the Kansas City Conflict Management Team. That's not the right name for it, but Center for Conflict Resolution. So we went through circle training, and it's a really interesting process, and it comes out of indigenous cultures, and you all are sort of familiar with the concept. It means that you gather up into a circle, so it's a symbolic of equality and nobody leads the thing. You have some kind of token that gives you permission to talk. It may be a talking stick where when you got it, you can talk. And it really is a training opportunity in learning how to be a better listener. So you get an opportunity to learn how to listen to others. That's one of the things that we learn to do. And occasionally, not just because there's a conflict, but occasionally it's refreshing to pull together a group of people to have a circle reflection time. For example, green guitar, that's one of the things that I'm primarily involved with here. Periodically, we have a gathering, we have a celebration, but it's also an opportunity that we can give each other feedback as to how things are going. Do we need to fix something? Do we need to do things better or differently? So the circle training is a skill that we have within this congregation. Several members have that, and it's a tool that we can use. And what else do I have up there? I've talked about the kindness conflict. Let's go to the next slide, please. This is a tough slide. Bullying. When I first hear this word, I think back to when I was in school, K-12. It's pretty evident when bullying is happening there. But bullying happens throughout life. It happens as an adult. And it's basically somebody has more clout than you have. For whatever reason, somebody has more clout than you have. And it could be you are from a marginalized community. It could be sexism. It could be racism. It could be a person who has a reputation for always speaking first. But bullying is a subtle and difficult thing to deal with. It is a type of conflict that generally needs to have somebody else to help sit in on it. So that is something that we had the skills to do, and we're willing to help people. When I say we, initially the Committee on Ministry, but there may be others in the congregation who can also facilitate when a bullying type of situation has happened. Next slide, please. So toolkit. I'm sometimes irritated at words like toolkit. Words that get used too much, I get irritated with them. But this is what it is. We have a list of 8 documents, 8 opportunities to read something about conflict, and they will be on the website. And the thought is that if you're having a struggle with somebody, you could go to the website and pick one of those and go through it and see if it gives you any thinking on yourself, curiosity about yourself perhaps, so that you are able to face something that has been hard for you and work through it and get better at dealing with it. And then maybe go back and deal with the individual that you're having the conflict with. That's the purpose of the toolkit. Next slide, please. And this just lists the documents where I'll go ahead and share what they are. There's a document on skills for handling conflict, the essential elements of dignity, and the 10 temptations to violate dignity. I find that fascinating because I think there are a lot of places where we don't grant dignity to the other individual. And it's really interesting to me to reflect on what the details are. What does dignity mean? So there are 2 great documents in there to take a look at that. There's a document on bullying and the circle resolution process. There's a document on I statements. We've all heard our entire life to use I statements when you're having a conflict. Active and reflective listening, a UUA document on right relationships, which is some really good guidance, and then a book, a kid's book called Resolving Conflict that Micah Rose had shared with us. Sometimes I think children's literature is clearer than adult literature. So it gives us lessons that are just clear, straightforward, understandable. So those are the documents that are there. Click to the next slide, please. These are the people on the Committee on Ministry, and we all would welcome feedback, comments, whatever. Click to the next slide, please. And if you want to direct things to me, I'm happy to share that with the Committee on Ministry. Last night, I told Rose early today that I was having dreams about this conversation. You know, like, what would I say? What would I not say? And the song, Like a Bridge Over Troubled Water, came to my head. And I thought, like a bridge over conflict waters, you know, that song that was dancing in my head. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing. But I also was listening to Crow and Gazelle early today, and one of the lines in one of their in the second song they did was, "I'll pardon you for all your crimes, if you pardon me for mine." So that's it. Thank you all for listening. We really appreciate the opportunity to share these tools with you.
It can sometimes feel like the word conflict itself is a dirty word, but it's a natural part of life. And really, the moments when we come into conflict and can work through them are when we have the most chance to learn and grow. The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
I am the lion. I am the voice in the wilderness. I am the hunter. And I also am the hunted. And I am the seeker. All the things that I can't find. I am the leader. I'm also am the one behind. I am the healer. I am the parts within that need to heal. Redeemer. I am forged in fire and I am steel. Behind the curtain of everything I thought was real, beyond conviction, whatever it is that does not serve my soul. And I'm letting go. As above now, so below. And I pray for the souls that are listening close to their own hearts tonight. And I pray that the darkness, that it does not overcome the light. And I pray that all fear up and disappears, and we can see that the God inside of you is the I am, is the God inside of me. And I'm letting go of whatever it is that does not serve my soul. And I'm letting go. As above now, so below. Yes, and I'm letting go of whatever it is that does not serve my soul. Yes, and I'm letting go. As above now, so below. Yes, and I'm letting go of whatever it is that does not serve my soul. Yes, and I'm letting go. As above now, so below.
All together now, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Please rise as you're willing and able for hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
This week, I invite you to become curious about where you have been saying no to love and where you could start to say yes. Go in peace.